Dave here, how are you? Today I'm going to talk about adjusting the workpiece table on your bandsaw. It's a very important thing to do, and I guess a lot of us aren't aware or forget to do it. We're very keen to do it on table saws because we want to get that blade cutting perfectly parallel to our miter slot, and we adjust the table to do that, but we neglect it on the old bandsaw. This is for people that have been struggling with their saw and thinking, what am I doing wrong? I've done everything, but if you've neglected to adjust the table, this is it. I'm going to release the miter gauge clamp because I need to get the fence on my miter gauge 90 degrees to my miter slot. Now I could go with what's here, this little indicator, but it might be better to do it a little bit more accurately using a square. What we do is, on your square there's two legs. One leg is going to be a thick one, the other one is the tang, basically comes off the other side. Now I'm going to drop it onto the table there, and I'm going to advance the thick leg up towards the edge of the miter slot. Most miter gauges are slightly thinner than the depth of the miter slot, so there is that little lip to catch on. It's pretty easy so far. Now I'm going to push my miter gauge up to it, and while everything is held there, tighten it. There's one thing straight away, if you didn't know, that's pretty easy. To check it, we flip it over and put it on the other side, and we'll have a little look down there, and it's good. It's very, very good. Now I have this piece of melamine coated MDF. So I can put that on my workpiece table, and now I can bring that piece of timber. Now this is square. I've already made this square and it's parallel. I cut this on the table saw to get it nice and square. Now I can now push that past the blade and see that I'm getting a very consistent tracking, that is tracking very, very nicely. If the miter slot wasn't perfectly parallel to the blade position, I would have, this would be advancing towards it and away from it, or the other way. I'm exaggerating big time there, but you can see what I'm saying. Now I've already set this up to being nice and parallel. Underneath you will see there are bolts holding the workpiece table onto the trunnion. If you release those, if yours isn't tracking nice, like mine is, parallel, you can release these bolts. Now on my particular one, it is a 13mm spanner, and I'm going to release those right now. I'm going to throw mine out of parallel on purpose to show you. Now an important thing is I leave my power cable unplugged anytime I do any maintenance on the saw. I've released the pressure on those bolts holding the workpiece table onto the trunnion, so I can do this. See that? That's massive. Now if I was to leave it like that, and I'm not going to tighten it up, and put my piece there, so it's actually touching the blade, and this is only around 170 millimeters across. You watch what happens. See, we're pulling away from the blade. I've got quite a gap here now. As I'm coming back to touching. Now that's only a little bit, but it makes a big difference. I know that mine, when it's all the way around to this side, you'll get to know your own saw, but when I've got mine all the way around to the full clockwise rotation that the bolts will allow me, I know it's pretty good. So I'm going to nip those bolts back up again. And I'm going to run it past again just to see how that's gone. Beautiful. And now I know that my table running parallel, my miter slot running parallel to the blade position, it's going to help an awful lot. This part up here is factory set. It's a square guide. I can't adjust this left and right. This is parallel to the spine. Whilst we've got that happening, you can also adjust your cursor. Mine takes a little Phillips head screw here, or a little Phillips head screwdriver, into the cursor, release, move the cursor to the correct position, because we know that it's 90 degrees now, nip it up. That's easy. Next thing. We want our rib fence now to join the party. And it's so easy at this stage. Let's do this. I have 4 hex internal drive screws that lock it onto the clamp. So I'm going to release those here. And that, I'll pop that over there, that allows my fence to move around like that. Like if I was to lock it, there's a fair bit of movement there. That allows us to get it straight, to adjust. Now, how easy is it to drop that piece of factory produced board, which I know is parallel, into the miter slot and just bring the fence up to it and push the back around so everything is pushing against it. Lock the clamp down at the same time to make sure that it's all working well. So I need to bring it down to the end there. That's all good. Now I'm going to tighten them up again. Done. That's it. Finished. So I'm going to rip this and turn it over and rip it again. Bring it back to there. Lock it. I've connected the power again. Dust protection. Eyes and ears. Let's give it a go. Next thing, we're going to turn it over. I'm going to move it along and go again. And then we're going to measure the offcut. You ready? Here's my piece. And here's the calipers. I'll push that back in there. We'll set it to 0. And we shall measure this end. And you can see I've got 9.99. And we'll turn it around and we'll go to this end. Let's see what we've got. 9.90. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. If you didn't know how to do that, I hope this will help you out. If you knew how to do this, great. Thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. Keep coming back. Subscribe to the channel. Just down there in the corner there will be a little thing to click. And I shall see you next time. Bye.